Hello, everyone. Welcome back
Okay.
to another exciting episode of the Sports Medicine Podcast. I'm here with myself. I'm also here with my co-host, Haley.
I'm glad you're here with yourself and me.
I'm locked in.
You're locked
It's the
in.
greatest
You're
time of
here.
the year.
Yeah, it is
Some
the
would
most
call it
wonderful time of the year.
like sports lovers' Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I had a great time at work on Thursday and Friday.
Oh,
One
yeah.
laptop open, working, monitor open. That multicast that the March Madness Live app does is brill. And you can like toggle between the audio on the games, but you can see them all at once. It was amazing. I had a blast. And honestly, no shame. I'm in the office, like in the main bay. Like we have open seating, you sit wherever. I'm in like the main bay where a ton of foot traffic. No shame. I just had my thing up like full screen on my monitor. Didn't care. I said, yeah, I'm watching college basketball. You should be watching college basketball. Yeah.
This is my time to shine.
I don't care if everybody's watching me. Yeah. It was fun.
I work more than 40 hours a week, almost all the time.
Yeah, I'm putting in enough work. You don't no need to judge my monitor.
It's cool if I have some nice background sound of
yeah, it's like listening to a
Madness.
podcast. But
yeah.
Instead I'm getting distracted by 4 basketball games at once, But I actually had a productive day at work. I'm not gonna lie. Like my days with the basketball games on were pretty solid. Just the added excitement really drove me forward. Yeah. I know you were traveling. Were you able to see all the games? Or I know you were Mrs. Worldwide this past week, so
yeah. So I had a bachelorette in Nashville, and I went with
Mad Max returned to Nashville. Did you bring your cowboy hat?
I did. Got some nice pictures with that.
Good.
So if anyone's curious, they're up on my Instagram. Go take a look.
Good picture and funny caption. I almost commented something kind of unhinged on your Instagram, but I refrained, so you're welcome.
Not a bad idea, because that was a bachelorette for a cousin's fiance, so the family were well aware of the photo.
They were watching.
Yeah.
They were commenting how cute, awesome, and I would have dropped a bomb in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good time. I will say a little bit bummed. I was there during the Big Ten conference tournament.
Yeah.
And I was with only the University of Wisconsin graduates while watching Purdue kind of miss the mark there at the end to Wisconsin. But Haley,
let's ask
thank
Wisconsin
you for grounding me.
I did ground you after that game. Yeah.
That, that's all. That's nickels and dimes compared to the big money that we're witnessing right now. So I'm okay with it.
I hope you rubbed it in their faces when they lost to JMU in the first round. So
I did not, because
so tactful of you.
3 or 4 of them said they wanted to be my friend and live in this area. So I was like,
you're like, no need to
I'll
alienate
take the friends
people
where I can get them
right away.
I was like, I have a podcast. You should check it out.
You should check it out.
So if any of you guys are listening, hello, thanks for giving this a try.
I do love when it's like when I'm drinking, when I drunk solicit the podcast, that's when I know I've had too much. Like if I'm out there talking about my podcast, like stop me, like I've cut me off. Like that's when I've had too much to drink. One time I was out and that's when I butt dialed you, which we had talked about in a previous episode, and I am like pulling up people's phones and like adding it to their Spotify liked. Like that's how, again, cut me off at that point. But you do have to promo the pod, so I hope they're listening. I hope you got some good promo out there. Dude, what was your favorite Nashville bar? Too. What was your favorite? I mean, you love country music, so that's kind of your cup of tea down there.
Yeah, I was a little bit bummed we didn't get to go to my favorite place. We missed out on Honky Tonk Central and Dierks Bentley, which are probably my top 2.
Yeah.
But we did try, and I've never done this before. We did one of those party buses.
Oh yeah, where they like
that go like up and down Broadway.
Yeah,
and
they're always funny
like
to look at. Yeah.
What was the hashtag was like see and be seen, I think.
And did you see
So,
and get seen?
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I think so.
People were looking.
Yeah, I think so. And then we also did a line dancing class. And Haley, you won't believe this. I'm terrible at line dancing.
Shocker. That's horribly shocking to me. Yeah.
Right?
Was anybody good at line dancing?
Did not know what my like left and my rights was. Oh yeah,
you're
you could tell.
You're out there. You're out there with your hands going left and right.
Yeah. But no, the people that were good at it were people that obviously grew up dancing.
Who have fundamental coordination.
Yeah, and I thought it was a nice, it was a good compromise because I like understood while watching the Wisconsin-Purdue game, unlike the refs, what like a charge was versus what it wasn't, and then these people knew how to line dance and I didn't. So really, it's
everybody has their strengths. Exactly.
Yep.
So then you were in Nashville, and then where were you off to next?
San Francisco. And let me just say, I'm not going to spend too much more time on this because I know we're already 6 minutes into this intro, but wow, I have the world's worst luck at airports. And I would just really encourage people that if the airline that you are about to get on starts with the letter A, really, really think long and hard about doing that.
Do you have beef with a particular airline?
Oh, I do after this weekend, yes. Most certainly. I'm not convinced that a certain airline that rhymes with Balaska knows how to operate like
is
an airplane from
head
to toe, like front, like go to finish. Like they know how to like word to the pilot, which I get is the most important part. Great job flying that plane. We were not at risk crashing once. Yeah, kept us in our lane, got us where we needed to go. However,
point B.
Everything else was
no bueno.
Awful. Was absolutely awful.
Now,
you would have thought that they wouldn't know what like a piece of luggage was. They were like, "Whoa, what's that?" Is
Alaska the one that the door flew off?
Yeah, it was actually. Fun fact.
I'm going to ask you, how many times did that cross your mind during the flight?
I mean,
every minute on the minute.
If it's a constant thought, is it just once, or is it however many minutes we were on that plane?
I mean,
because that's what we were working with.
Yeah.
A nice lady sat next to me, and she's like, "Don't worry, they don't want to have to like pay out twice. This plane is like double put together. Like they like super glued it. Like we're good to go." And I'm like, that's a lot of confidence coming from this lady, where it took them an extra hour just to get us onto the plane.
Wow. I'm trying to remember who
up in the air.
What was Alaska Airlines before Alaskan Airlines? Was it Virgin? Going back to
I would guess a startup company of some sort that was struggling.
It was a struggling.com in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. They lose your luggage? What was the primary issue?
Yep. So delayed twice on the way there, delayed once on the way back, lost my luggage on the way there, found my luggage, dropped it on my hand. We think it like it's. I don't even say we think. I'm like it. I have to go. I have a doctor's appointment Wednesday with a specialist to figure out if I need surgery or not.
Oh my God.
And then
you need
and then
sue Alaska Airlines.
Haley, you are not the first person to tell me this. The unfortunate thing is I don't know if it was Alaska Airlines that dropped the luggage on me or the people working at SFO. That's to be determined. But anyway, then the worst part was, so we finally get home on this past Sunday from this work trip. Like Brian's got like DoorDash ordered. He's ready to pick me up from the airline. He knows I've had an absolutely awful go of it.
Yeah.
And while they are parking the plane, they run the plane into the jet bridge and break it.
You did send me a picture of
we
that.
were stuck on the airplane for an additional 52 minutes where the pilot kept getting on the intercom and telling us all, like, I'm so sorry for this slight inconvenience.
You're like,
we
it's not
passed
slight
inconvenience on the way to San Francisco. This is major inconvenience. And we're on the plane, like, at, like, in the middle of, like, you know, the F tarmac of United, aka we're out in the middle of nowhere, so I get no signal. I can't watch a single thing of March Madness. I'm only getting updates on Safari with, like, the scores.
You're only getting my text updates, ruining the surprise.
And then we finally get off the plane, and I'm, like, walking to, like, baggage claim. For any of those of you who haven't been at United, they typically, if they know that you
O'Hare
fly,
Airport.
Yeah, if you fly, like, United, I think and then you fly another airline, like if you're a United stan like I am, then they just put you as far away from your bag, from your pickup as possible. So I had to walk through the entirety of the airport, and I'm seeing everyone, like, you know, at the bars and the restaurants, watching March Madness, enjoying life, having a good time.
And your hate
and
level
I'm just
is
sitting
raising.
there like, wow, I wonder if my luggage is going to be at baggage claim carousel 1 or not. And thankfully it was, but it was, you know, they've done one successful thing out of like the 10 things that were required.
Yeah. Dang, what a saga. For your birthday, I'm going to get you a status on Alaska Airlines.
And then I'm going to immediately sell that to someone else. In fact, I might even pay someone else to take it off my hands. Not a fan.
Never again.
Unless, of course, they want to redeem themselves and sponsor this podcast, in which case I will only fly Alaska Airlines.
Also, yeah, this podcast is brought to you by Alaska Airlines. I'm dead. I also love how your company, not to shit on your company, but I like how you did not fly direct from one of the largest airports in the country to one of the other largest airports in the country.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess an SFO to ORD flight is happening a lot of times a day. I can't believe you didn't fly direct. But what do I know about air travel or your company's travel and financial status? But
Yep. Gotta follow those rules and be within the traveling budget. So that's what I get for following the rules. Broken hand, lost luggage, and some missed
and a lot of
March
disdain
Madness.
And a lot of disdain for Alaska Airlines.
Yes. Oh
yeah.
Yes.
Cancel Alaska. But Alaska, if you're listening and want to sponsor our podcast,
yeah, I can be redeemed.
And she would do some great ad reads for you. She would do some great ad reads for Alaska Air. Yeah.
This face is made for radio.
Yeah. Same.
So there's the transition.
You've had an exciting few weeks, but I'm glad to be back on the pod. So that's our quick segue. So I guess we can start. In a previous episode, Mad Mac and I shot straight from the hip and guessed the at-large bids to the NCAA tournament. So like we guessed the men's conference championship winners. Mad Mac wanted to provide you an update, like how we did. And spoiler, not well.
Shocking.
Granted, like half of these conferences you and I had never heard of. So I mean, the bar was pretty low. I didn't expect success on this one. But you're going to be thrilled to know that you did beat me in guessing the number of correct at-large bids. So 32, I'm just going to have you guess real quick. 32 total at-large bids. How many do you think you and I got right combined? Out of 32. Out of 32. Yeah.
You said we did not do well.
I'm going to say we didn't do great.
Can I ask, when you said didn't do great, like if we're comparing this to like you and me, like academic standards, like did we do poorly even at my standards for academics?
Absolutely. Yeah. This would be in the College of Pharmacy at Purdue University, this would be a no bueno. This would be a do not pass go, do not collect $200.
I'm going to guess that we got 9 correct.
Wow. Okay, so you thought we did really bad. So we actually got 14.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's still
really
only
bad.
5 more than what I guessed, and there are a lot of teams and conferences, so that is still quite pitiful. But
yeah. So
you
guessed,
got to start somewhere.
We got to start somewhere, and also that's just I think our general disclaimer is we fundamentally don't know that much about the college basketball landscape, which is great for us. But I'll say you
learning each and every year.
Yeah, exactly. We're not supposed to know everything. So you got 8 correct, and I got 6. So you got the WAC, the Sun Belt, Summit, Missouri Valley, the MAC with 2 A's, Big East, Big 12, and the American East. Yeah, and I got 6. The Southern Conference, Patriot, Ohio Valley, MEAC, MAC, and CAA.
Did you say MAC with 1 A there?
I got the MAC with 1 A. And now that I think about it, Akron was the MAC with 1 A, and you got the MAC with 2 A's, and I could not tell you who that was at all.
Yeah, I think I saw you. I think your Spiders got in.
I don't think so. Richmond? No, I don't think that was one of them.
I thought for sure.
Maybe
I saw them.
Let me look.
And I was like, ugh.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh yeah, Haley got one.
No,
but maybe not.
I don't think so. Okay, was Richmond in the NCAA tournament? Men's? I don't think so. I don't remember. No, they were not.
So I was watching one of those.
You were definitely
generic basketball tournaments that happen at the end of the year.
I mean, Richmond has been in the tournament a lot, but yeah, I did not. I mean, it's funny too because I'm thinking about like, okay, again, you got right the WAC, the Sun Belt, Summit, Missouri Valley, MAC, Big East. So you got the Big East and the Big 12. Other than that, we got no Power 5 conference tournaments correct. In the Big East,
crazy.
The Big East was
you would think we'd get those. Like,
I know.
One of us would have guessed the Big 10 correctly.
Well, you and I both guessed Purdue.
Fair.
And which was not smart. That was the only one I allowed us to like double dip and guess the same one. But you got the Big East right, which I thought was a little bit of a layup. I mean, I thought, especially with Marquette down and out, at that point in time, the like UConn winning was pretty straightforward. And then you got Iowa State in the Big 12. So that was a good job.
And they're like, Iowa State's kind of popping off right now.
Yeah. I'm guessing they're in the Sweet 16. Things I should know. I kind of have forgotten about them. One moment. Yeah, Iowa State beat Washington State. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was right on that one. I'm looking at my bracket. But so yeah, so you and I 14 out of 32 could be better, could be worse, you know?
Yeah, I know. We got a standard, like a base that now we can like build on next year and hopefully
the
do
conferences
better.
that I think we knew the most about, i.e. the Power 5, we were the most incorrect about. So maybe we're just good guessers.
That is the art of March Madness.
It really is. It really is. So I guess like going into the first weekend of the men's, and then we could talk about the women's. First weekend of the men's, what were your highlights? And also, we pull up your bracket too, because I kind of want to see where you're at with things.
Oh yeah. So my favorite game is the game that broke my bracket because I had Kentucky going. I believe in the one.
I have Kentucky
with us. Yeah, I had them going all the way.
All the way, beating Purdue in the Final Four, or beating somebody in the Final Four.
Yeah, I was
that was stupid.
Drinking that Kool-Aid that this team was built for March. They weren't even built for the round of 64.
No.
But it was an awesome.
They really had people. I want to say Kentucky really had people fooled.
Was like picking Purdue.
No. Kentucky as a team had people absolutely fooled going into March. Like, I bet you I would like to see the percentage of people who have them at least in the Elite Eight. Like, it's a lot, I would feel like.
Oh my God. And we got, like, I feel like everyone kind of got screwed over too, because like looking at them and then looking at Oakland and like, what's another good example?
Yale.
James Madison, Yale. I'm trying to think like a 5th, like a San Diego State. Like, there were lower seeded teams that, at least on paper during this March Madness, were much better than Kentucky. Like, Kentucky is a 3 seed. I think that was a little bit of a farce as well. Like, they probably aren't really a 3 seed team.
Yeah, but I think everybody thought they were hot. I mean, like, I had always just heard chirps about, like, defensively, their Ken Pom was so low. Like, they, they were kind of like not to trust them. But they were like, they'd get hot and they'd beat teams, like, they'd have some quality wins and then they get cold. But yeah, I mean, I had them in the Final Four. And I think when I was filling out my bracket, I was like, oh yeah, like, this seems right. And was I texting you about Calipari's buyout?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was
like, a lot of money.
Because, I think, like, being in the Purdue fan base, people, like, every time they lose, people start saying fire Matt Painter. And I think, like, Kentucky's a very restless fan. Like, they like to win. And this is no bueno for them, especially, like, in the past few years they've had. But, like, his buyout, $33 million. You want to donate some money to the University of Kentucky to get him out of there? I wonder what they'll do with him. I have no like clue how all of that works, like buyouts and coaching, but I wonder what they'll do with him. I mean, obviously he's like a legend, but maybe he's fallen out of favor. Maybe it's time to retire.
That's another thought. Coach Calipari, if you
want to
need some sponsorship, we're open, available, and we will give you a good rate.
Or if you're
we remember the golden years too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if you want to come talk on our podcast, like, hop on.
Yeah, that you can do for free.
For free, yeah, we will. We may, yeah, for free.
We don't even have to be on the stage. You can just take the mic.
If you just want to vent to our listeners, I don't even know how many of them are out there. Maybe
almost 100. We keep teetering. We keep going up, and then we like drop down to 97, and then we go to 102, and then we drop to 95. Like, I'm like, I want a solid 100 listening in.
And maybe Coach Cal would get us there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll write an email.
Okay. Sounds good. His email's got to be in that.
But yeah,
Kentucky
that was
directory.
my favorite.
Kentucky.
That was my favorite game of the first week. Yeah. Oakland, that point guard, Jack Folke.
And he broke. Oh, or the other players to have 10 threes in a game, and an NCAA tournament game. The other last player was Carson Edwards, Purdue University. I mean, 10 threes in a game, it's a lot of 3-pointers. He was on fire. And then did you see the next day at shoot around, he made a full court shot, basically?
Mm-hmm.
I also think this year, like, the Cinderellas, short-lived Cinderellas. Like, Oakland loses. I need to refresh my memory on the bracket. What's the highest seed still remaining? One moment.
Like, highest seed remaining. We still have one seeds.
NC State. I was talking like, what's our largest seed? NC State. And I was like, I mean, they came from nothing. Obviously, neither you or I picked them in to be the ACC tournament champion. They won 5 games straight in the ACC and then make the tournament. And I was like, absolutely not. I put them to lose to Texas Tech in the first round, and they took care of business, and they're rolling into the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
I kind of like them.
Yeah, no, I like watching them. They're cool. That they're like big, like center.
Big guy.
Who's like Shaquille O'Neal-esque, very like just classic big guy center. He's fun to watch.
I agree.
He's got like a really like great like personality and stuff too. When he talks like post game and stuff, he's just very friendly.
Yeah, their whole team kind of seems like they're happy to be here, going with the flow, winning games. I was listening to their post game.
Nothing to lose.
Definitely
but they're also the attitude
like,
they have.
Yeah, but they're also like, we're good. We deserve to be here. So, which is cool. You know, again, those conference tournaments, I always like when because they were like, what, 9th in the ACC or something crazy, which is wild. And here they are in the Sweet 16. And that's
what was your favorite game?
Okay, the Auburn Yale game.
To the Sweet 16.
Auburn Yale, I think, was my favorite.
Yeah, just smart kids can ball.
Smart kids can ball. And I ruined the surprise for you because I know you were watching that one delayed. I also thought it was funny, like, Charles Barkley, like, I think at halftime or something on the CBS broadcast, he's like got his feet kicked. Charles Barkley went to Auburn and was like chilling. He's like, oh, we're going to win this game. No problem. And then they lose. It's always kind of funny to see Charles disgruntled. So I thought that was a fun game just because, I don't know. It's just, again, like another team that was like pretty hyped coming into the tournament, Auburn, like, Bruce Pearl's doing a great job down there. They've a very hyped up team, and then they lose to Yale. And it's fun to see. And like the way Yale won the Ivy League tournament on this last second baseline shot was pretty cool. So I was like, man, go Bulldogs. What do they say? Bula Bula at Yale. But yeah, that I like that game a lot. I also, maybe it's because I like the downfall of Wisconsin, but I did like the James Madison Wisconsin game. I thought that was a fun performance from James Madison, even though they got destroyed by Duke last night.
It's like they used all their energy to beat Wisconsin and then just were kind of
they were like
dead in the
out.
water against Duke. Like,
yeah,
the defense they played against Wisconsin, when I saw that, I got to be honest, when I first saw that, I'm like, oh, if they have to play Purdue, this is going to be so bad for Purdue.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're quick. They are the kind of team that is reminiscent to like what was it, St. Peter's?
Yeah.
Whoever else
exactly.
we've choked to. Like, I was like, oh no. And then, and then they were just tired.
Yeah,
I think. And then
they were
Duke
fresh out of gas. Other games I liked, I'm looking now, FAU Northwestern, first round, went into overtime. I thought that was fun. I think it was just lots of up and down the court, fun game to watch.
And then you forgot that like last year, Florida Atlantic was a Final Four, right?
Final Four team, yeah, exactly. A Final Four team, same as San Diego State. Florida Colorado was a good first round game too. I think the other ones I watched. Kansas Samford. Like, you almost see the Jayhawks go down. Granted, they go down in the next game, but that was a close game. So my most surprising game, I will say, Oregon, South Carolina. I was really surprised to see Oregon. Another surprising tournament team. They won the Pac-12. Would not have gotten in the tournament via an at-large bid. And
otherwise,
and that I was surprised by that game too. I was like, wow. Go Ducks.
Yeah, I caught the last 5 minutes of that game.
I didn't watch that game. Another game I didn't watch that I wish I would have watched was Tennessee, Texas. I think it was late. That's why I didn't watch it. I was tired. I wish I would have watched that game. Texas almost won. But close game. So that's, I'm trying to think what any second round games that were, I mean, I'll say I really liked Purdue, Utah State. It's fun to win.
I will say I agree with that because I started watching 20 minutes in.
So you missed a little bit of
don't know. I am incredibly superstitious, and if I watch Purdue live, they tend to do poorly. So I waited 20 minutes, and then I started turning the game on, and then Brian kept checking the live score on his phone to know if he had to leave the room or if he could stay in the he didn't know where my frustration level would be once I caught up with what was going on. And it was actually a very lovely way to watch the game because I got I was still very surprised at everything happening and enjoying it. And I had I had a person kind of next to me that was kind of giving me a heat check every so often. So.
Yeah. Keeping you that reminds me, when I was a kid, we'd watch the game and my dad would listen to it on the radio with one headphone in, and so we'd be sitting on the couch. You couldn't see that he had a headphone in, and I didn't know, and I didn't even know he was listening to the radio, but I didn't know that the radio was ahead of the TV broadcast. And he would just do predictive. He'd be like, I think you guys are going to like this. And they'd make a 3 and we'd be like, how did you know that we were going to like this? This is crazy. So at least you had Brian to kind of keep you, kind of give you at least a little hint going forward. But
yeah. And I'm a little I don't know, I'm nervous about our next game.
Zags.
Gonzaga's playing well. They obviously are well coached.
For sure. They're very
They've been here
experienced.
before.
Yeah. This is what did they say? Like their 9th straight Sweet 16 or something crazy.
So we'll kind of have to wait and see there.
Yeah, Friday night.
Besides that, I know I feel like everyone's saying this, and I think you and me talked about it right before we got on. Like they were like, the women's like March Madness tournament's more exciting than the men's this year. And I'm like, I want to like give everyone like a quick check. Like I'm like, they're both very exciting.
They're both
like,
exciting.
I think the men's like the first day is like
iconic.
I would say equally as exciting as the women's, if not even a little bit more, just because it's like it kicks off the tournament. Like you just have basketball all day long.
Yeah.
It's just one like game after another. There's all these like chatterings of like upsets and stuff. So I don't want to like take away from any of the tournaments. But with that being said, some matchups want to call out.
The
Iowa,
side.
I did watch that first game, of course.
Who do you have winning? Who do you have winning it all in the women's bracket?
I have Iowa in a championship against South Carolina, and I have Iowa going home with the W.
Me too. And I think like the rest of the world has that matchup too. Wait, to go back for a second, who do you have winning the men's?
I had Kentucky, and that broke. But with my other bracket with Brian's family, I believe I either had North Carolina or Purdue.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay. But yeah,
it was like a 1 seed.
Back to the women's. I have the same. I have South Carolina and Iowa.
Yeah.
And I have Iowa winning.
I named my bracket Staley versus Clark.
There you go.
Because I think the South Carolina basketball coach is the coolest person on the planet Earth.
Is she the one that had the dog? Is she the one that had the dog in the post game? Have you seen that? Okay, I'm looking it up. I saw it on Twitter.
I can't watch, like, I don't log into the post games because
I just saw it on Twitter, that's why.
The LSU coach, I know a bunch of people like her.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, not a huge fan, if I'm being honest.
Well, yeah. I mean, she kind of stuck her foot in her mouth a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really know the whole story, but I know enough, I think, to know my feelings on her. I don't know. Maybe that's bad of me to say.
I just don't like, I don't know, like you can like, I feel like you can tell from like the way that like certain players talk about their coaches. And I just think like if I was playing college basketball, I would much rather play for like a Coach Staley or play for like Gino with UConn or like.
And I think there's been like drama around the program since like the beginning of the year.
I would not fit in.
Fit in. I mean, you would definitely wear one of her outfits, though, for sure.
I mean,
I'm joking.
I don't. Okay, I was about to say like which one.
You would never. I'm like, she wears the most outrageous outfits.
I was like going through them. Yeah, I was like, neon is not my look.
Somebody who owns only black, navy, and white and gray. Yeah, you do not. You would not wear one of hers. And it is Dawn Staley's dog that was in the post game interview. I'm gonna have to send you some tweets after this because it's pretty funny. She like puts her dog up on the stand, and they're like, and they start asking about the dog, and she's like, the dog's not answering any questions until he gets a nameplate, like. Like, one of those little post interviews. It's funny. Yeah. You gotta see. Yeah. It's actually pretty funny. Okay. I'll send you some tweets. Don't worry. I'll send you a picture right now. But yeah, no, that I would agree. She seems pretty cool. Yeah. Let me go back to the women's bracket.
So I watched Iowa. That was pretty funny. I don't know if you were watching. Caitlin Clark was infuriated for the majority of the game.
Yeah, can you?
Wasn't playing well, even though they were up 30.
Yeah, I mean they're playing Holy Cross, but yeah, no, I thought it was funny when her dad, like I saw Twitter. Yeah, apparently I live on Twitter these days. I thought that was funny that she's chatting with her dad in the stands as she's like, and her dad's like, "Stop it."
No, my parents would literally tell Sean and I to shut up all the time if we were chirping too much at refs or mad at, like, our, like, teammates
I
or,
guess in
like,
a
our
gym you could
coaches. Like,
hear that. It's close enough.
if we had an uncoachable, quote, unquote, "attitude," like, she would yell directly from the stands, which, of course, like, only would cause me and Sean to, like, chirp right back at her. Like, it didn't I don't think it usually didn't, calm a situation.
You never got
But
in
it
a
was
fight with
funny.
your ref, but at the end of the game, you were definitely about to get in a fight with your mom.
Oh, yeah. My mom
Yeah.
and my grandpa, like, every game. Didn't matter if I had, like, 20
Wow.
points or something. They would be like, "You didn't shoot enough. You didn't score enough." And I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
"My job was to rebound."
Yeah, you're like, "Look at
It
me."
had nothing to do with scoring.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I mean, it was definitely a chippy game, lots of fouls, and then I thought it was funny her dad, like, he's just like, "Oh, no, like, stop it." I thought that was very dad. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I'm trying to think who else. You know,
I also have been watching the Virginia Tech.
How are they doing without their player who tore her ACL?
They won their first game, lost their second.
Oh, they're out.
It was heartbreaking. I like
Ugh, they
end
lost
of
to
the game,
Baylor.
lost to Baylor. Like, they were
Yeah.
going back and forth. It was a very close game, and Baylor just hit shots at the end, and they didn't, and they lost, and it sucked.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a
I'm
bummer.
looking now at the bracket. Another team. So Notre Dame won today. Notre Dame.
Yeah, they beat Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, they took care of business. They'll play Oregon State. Indiana, you know, we're Purdue people here, but I do like me some Indiana women's basketball. So I'm keeping an eye on them. They play Oklahoma.
Yeah, they go up against Oklahoma tonight.
I also think
so
the
that'll be a good game.
The women's tournament's interesting too, just with I mean, Indiana draws great crowds for its women's basketball games. It's you know, the different format of the women's tournament where the top 16 seeds, so the top 16 teams, the top 4 seeds host. So I think it's really interesting they have that format where they're playing. And granted, you know, you could draw some parallels with the men's tournament where they play regionally. You know, Purdue's playing in Indianapolis. You know, they're playing more regionally located based on the number 1 seed. But it's interesting that they have that format and the impact that, you know, Indiana playing at home tonight against Oklahoma would have. And I think it's kind of interesting, the format and how it, like I was playing at home and what they sold out Carver Hawkeye for. It was like the most expensive women's basketball tournament game that had, you know, like it was crazy just because it's a home game due to the style of the tournament. When do they go? Oh, I'm guessing it's the Sweet 16 where they actually will go to a venue. They play the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And then they will go to a venue. Yeah. I'm learning. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited.
It's kind of crazy. Like, you don't realize that until you actually go to a college basketball game, like how much of a difference playing at home makes. Like, compared to like playing in a neutral or like in a away game.
In a quiet gym. And that's what I'm thinking about, like these. So, you know, in, you know, first round game, Indiana, say, example of Indiana, they're playing at home, and then the second game is like 2 teams. Yeah, then it like flips to a neutral court basically, because the second game, you know, second game of the day, it's 2 teams that, and none of them's Indiana. Like, like it would be interesting, especially I think basketball too. Again, I never played basketball, although I went to go pick up my library book at the library today, and the guy asked me if I played basketball. Don't know why. He's like, "Did you?"
And you should have lied and just immediately said, like, "Yeah, I was on Presbyterian. We were out round 1 against South Carolina."
I should have. I was picking up the Pat Summitt book. That's my next read, is the Pat Summitt book. My dad's reading it, and
Which
he recommended
one?
it. It's called Sum It Up. Or some
I think I've read that.
Like,
I'm pretty sure I've read that before.
I picked that up, and that's why he asked me if I played basketball. I was like, no, but do I look like a basketball player? But so I know nothing about basketball, but I do think playing in a gym, a quiet gym, would be eerie. Like, and I played soccer. Like, playing on a neutral site game, it doesn't matter.
I think that's why like the bubbles like during COVID were so weird. Like, it was so weird to watch a basketball game with no
nobody
fans
in the crowd.
It was.
Did they use
bizarre.
fake? I'm trying to remember if they used fake crowd noise. No, I don't think they did.
I think they did at some of the
Some
points,
places.
like at
Yeah.
like time, like for like TV timeouts and like stuff like that, but like not in any way, shape, or form natural. And then like I think they also like tried to incorporate like music and stuff too, like
Yeah.
at different times.
That
And
would
you
be
could
eerie,
just tell by
though.
the look on like all the people's face where they were
They're
like,
like,
"This is so weird.
this is weird.
Like, don't."
Yeah.
We'd
That would
rather
be
have it
kinda
silent,
eerie.
I guess.
Yeah. So it's nice to get, like, a
Oklahoma to
bit.
strike first. Ooh, and now Indiana comes back with a 3 and it's up by 1.
Are you
In case anyone
watching?
cares.
Yeah, thank you. I
I
actually
have
was
the live
curious. I'm well,
live updates on the bracket. But
I have the
okay, wait. So
bracket.
Haley, I have to
Yeah.
ask you, both for men's and women, now that like we have because I love when we are able to make uneducated guesses.
That's
and
our
continue to
that's
get
our
them wrong.
specialty.
Yeah. Who right now had to pick tomorrow, had to pick a winner for the men's and for the women. Who are you picking?
Let's reshuffle based on the current status. Men's and women's, repick your final 4 based on the current available teams.
Ooh, okay. I like that even better.
Yeah. Okay, so with the women's,
We'll start with them first.
Starting with the women's, my final 4 is Texas, South Carolina, Iowa, Ohio State. Now, Ohio State lost. So I am going to pick the University of Southern California, fight on, USC, Iowa, and I am going to change it to, okay, I'm going to write these down too. So my women's final 4. Okay, women's final 4. USC, Iowa. I'm going to change it to Stanford and South Carolina. Okay. Because we got to look back how wrong we end up being. So what is your new final 4? And it can be the same, but what is your new final 4? Did you have Ohio State in the final 4 for the women's?
No, think I
felt really confident.
I either had USC or UConn.
What seed is UConn?
I don't remember which one. UConn's a 3 seed. They're also playing right now against Syracuse. They're up.
That's what I'm gonna do tonight. Watch women's basketball. Thank God, it gives me something to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do you have?
But anyway, I think looking at landscape right now, I would go with tricky. I'm gonna say South Carolina and Iowa for sure. Okay. And then I'm gonna go with, I want to say UConn, but I think USC has a lot more ability and an ability to make like in close games. I like USC more than I like UConn.
Because you're putting
because I got to watch USC, and I know they were playing the 16 seed team, but wow, they are very good at basketball. So I'm gonna go with USC for my 3rd pick, and then Texas, Stanford, NC State, Gonzaga. This regional 4 is a little bit more tricky because I feel like everyone's kind of close, but I'm going to say a sleeper.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with NC State. I think they're going to come out of this one.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. You gotta picking again, you can't always just go with the boring high seeds like I just did, but
yeah, I can't pick only 1 seeds.
Exactly. Hey, I got a 2 in there. Okay, now let's go to the men's tournament based on who's left. Read me your final 4. What was your predicted final 4? On the men's side.
Predicted was I'm trying to read the ESPN bracket right now.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Oh wait, I think it's.
Just go to the very bottom and look at where it says Final 4, and it's in small letters. It says my pick. I'll give you.
Yeah, but my pick only has 2 things listed.
Yeah, that's because there's 2 sides of the bracket. There should be a Final 4 on the left side of the middle and the right side of the middle.
Yeah, but on each of those, they only have 1 team instead of Oh, never mind. Over. Okay, sorry.
Yep. There you go.
I just can't read. My original Final Four was Arizona against UConn with Arizona winning, and then Kentucky beating Purdue, and then Kentucky winning it all.
It's
so funny. I had Arizona, UConn, Kentucky, Purdue.
You and I had the same Final Four.
Interesting.
So now we're both wrong with Kentucky. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. So if you had to reshuffle your Final Four, the rest of those teams are still in it. UConn, Arizona, and Purdue.
To put that Big Ten team in orange into my Final Four.
ILL. Like Andy Katz put them. Andy Katz put them as the number 4 team remaining in the tournament.
Still UConn.
Okay.
And Arizona on the left.
So you say UConn,
I think.
UConn, Arizona.
And then Tennessee makes me a little nervous as a Purdue fan, but I'm going to keep Purdue.
Okay.
And
yeah, who are you picking outside of Kentucky? I
haven't seen any game. I haven't seen Houston play a single game of basketball, if I'm being honest.
Well, they narrowly escaped Texas A&M.
Do I go NC State as a Cinderella?
Let's do it. Why not? You're supporting the school because you have them in the men's and the women's. I respect it.
Yeah, that's my new pick.
Go Pack.
NC State, Purdue, Arizona, UConn.
Okay, let me
look. Now that Kentucky's lost, I don't want to jinx which team I actually want to win this, obviously. So I'll pick Arizona, but obviously
to win it all.
I think we all know.
Wait, who in the women's? Wait, you have in the women's.
I'm not gonna say it.
In the women's, you have Iowa winning it all, right?
What? In
the women's, you have Iowa winning it all.
Yes.
I'm just writing these down for noting. I too have Iowa winning it all. Okay, in the my Final Four, redoing the Final Four, I'm keeping UConn. Let me take a look at Arizona. Oh yeah, they play Clemson. I think they. Oh, it's tough because I kind of think North Carolina's rolling right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting UNC.
I think North Carolina could be pesky. I think Tennessee could be very pesky.
I'm putting UNC. I'm keeping Purdue because you got to have a little faith. And to replace Kentucky, that's actually tough. NC State versus Marquette, Duke, Houston. Oh, I think that's a great game. Dang, why did I put what was wrong with me? I put Wisconsin beating Duke in the round of 32. I don't know what I was thinking. I must have been really hurt from that Purdue loss in the Big Ten tournament. So, okay, I'm thinking hard here. I think Marquette wins. I think Duke beats Houston. So it's Duke or Marquette. I don't know. Marquette's not that good. Duke. I'm going crazy. UNC.
That's a good pick.
I don't think it is. And I too will not say out loud who I think is going to win. Because it's not like we're superstitious. You know what? I'm going to take it back. I will say who I think is going to win because what I say will not impact the game. I think Purdue will win the national championship. And yeah, you're superstitious. And I am trying to not be superstitious and trying to tell myself that I can say everything and I'm not, the players had to play. I'm not impacting the game at all. So yeah, Purdue, locked and loaded. But I respect your superstition because this is me just trying to be anti-superstitious. So, but yeah, that's my hot take. Duke is my hot take there. Duke is my hot take. UNC, I think, is like, I don't know why I think Arizona is going to stumble, but yeah.
It looks like now I've become an NC State fan. I'm cheering for him on the men's and the women's side.
You and I think we're just a fan of the RTP area of North Carolina because you have NC State in the men's and the women's, and I added Duke and North Carolina into my Final Four. So we're just big Raleigh, Durham.
Hard not to be once you visit there.
It is pretty nice.
Beautiful little place.
It is a cool area.
A lot of character.
Lots of good stuff going on. But it's time to move. Let's pick up and go. I'll meet you in Raleigh. But yeah, I think that's a good. I like that. I'm glad that we're reshuffling. I'm glad that this podcast gives us the opportunity to right our wrongs.
Or make them more wrong.
Or make them worse. Guide us further off track. But yeah, you and I are in a bracket challenge with a couple other people. Shout out to Laura, Megan, and Violet, who also are in this tournament challenge.
Winner gets a candle.
Winner gets a candle. What everybody wants and needs, a candle. Honestly, that's a great buy-in. I love a good candle. And I hate spending money on candles. So when I win, it's gonna be a great gift. Can't wait.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be donating to that candle fund because I had Kentucky winning it all, and
luckily it'll be a good, $3. So I think you can spare it. Yeah. But it's
I think I'll be.
I think you only have one of your Final Four out. I think you're still hanging in there, and you and I are in the same boat. We both have. I'm sitting pretty on the women's side. Oh no, I have Ohio State out, so I'm not sitting pretty on the women's side. But there's a lot of basketball left to be played. That's all I have to say.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So we won't. Wait, sorry. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I'm looking forward to. I was wrapping it up. I was saying I'm looking forward to watching some women's basketball tonight, and then some men's basketball next weekend. Get back on the horse.
Agreed. And I think I wanted to end by saying I'm very happy to be home and not traveling for the rest of this year.
And Alaska Airlines, if you're listening, Mad Mac has some thoughts and words for you.
Just do better and say less.
It's short and sweet.
That's the other thing too. Like you go up, I'm like showing the guy like my hand, and I'm like, "Does that look normal to you?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Can you fix it? Like, can you do something? Can I get a refund?"
I hope
and every single time, email so and so at claims at we're never gonna actually read this email.
I hope your injured hand doesn't impede your ability to get on the LPGA tour.
No, I know. So it's messing up that.
Sounds like a golf.
Because I was supposed to have more golf lessons, and now I have to go in Wednesday, and I already told the guy, like the first place I went where I got like the x-ray and stuff, and I was like, I'm supposed to run a triathlon in August. Like, it's going to be very hard to get into open water with a hard cast on my hand. And they're like,
let's hope it's not broken.
That could be a problem. And then it was really funny because the nurse came in and she was like, well, like, at least you can like bike on a Peloton. And I was like,
yeah,
that's what you wanted to say right now? Like, do you know what triathlon is? 3 things, right? And then she kind of had that look on her face, like that was kind of a stupid thing to say. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It was not the smartest thing to have come out of your mouth today.
Wow, you are just.
And then she just like awkwardly walked out of the room.
You are just a joy of a patient and a customer.
Oh yeah, no, I was miserable and very angry.
Yeah, I would not want to deal with you for a lack of a better.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, that would be a rough one.
Especially after I'm late on 2 flights too. And then I had to like go to like my work dinner, and my like boss is talking to me, and I'm trying to network and stuff, but my hand is like
this was a traumatic experience for you.
It was, and so stay tuned. I'll have more updates Wednesday.
Yeah, this podcast is turning into a therapy outlet for you, so you can.
And that's why we named it the Sports Medicine Podcast.
It's healing in a lot of ways.
Oh God.
Well, on that note.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get us out of here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again for listening and for continuing to listen to us. It's just kind of crazy.
You 5 people who are doing this now for 12
episodes. And it's more than just me and Haley listening to each other speak.
Isn't that crazy?
Which is wild.
And it's wild too.
But if you like this episode, best thing you can do is share it with someone else who also likes sports and likes to have a good time and not take sports too seriously. You can follow us on all the socials. We're on X. We're on Threads. We don't post to those too much. I sometimes post to Insta. We're trying to have a life balance here as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, until we record again, this has been your weekly dose of the Sports Medicine Podcast. Talk to you guys later.